Hey, it's Michael Douglas. Welcome back to another episode of Dr. Pundit, where we talk about music, not medicine. And you know, ever since I did that review on Billy Joel's The Bridge album, I kind of started listening to another Billy Joel album. This one, Turnstiles, from 1976. And I don't know, I think this particular lyric from this particular song presages a rather bleak sort of outlook for the city that Billy Joel sang about a lot in his songs, the Big Apple. Details inside. I'm Michael Douglas. Welcome back to Dr. Pundit, where we talk about music, not medicine. And Billy Joel was coming back to his home city to try to recharge a career that had stalled. The city itself was facing hard times of its own, and Joel's imagination ran wild from there to create one of his most, I think, prescient songs. From the 1976 album Turnstiles, this track, called Miami 2017, Seen the Lights Go Out on Broadway, plays out like an alternative history as Joel wonders what would happen if the Big Apple, New York City, collapsed. And when the city faced actual catastrophe, Joel's song, which also captures the resilience of the city's citizens, proved both relevant and resonant. Billy Joel really never felt all that comfortable about using LA as his base of operations, considering the success of so many other singer-songwriters on the West Coast in the early to mid-70s. And it wasn't long before he was able, and his longing got the better of him, to get back to his New York City haunts. Just as Billy Joel contemplated his return, New York City was reeling. Crime was rampant, and the city was struggling to pay its bills. And when city officials asked the federal government for a bailout, they were denied in an unceremonious fashion. Those headlines started to play out in Billy Joel's mind, and he began to muse upon a kind of science fiction plot where New York City is completely waylaid. Questions began to pop up. How might those scenes play out? What would happen to those who made it out of the city in time? Well, the answer would come shortly. Joel's 1976 album Turnstiles, which he self-produced, arrived in 1976 with Miami 2017 delivering as the closing track. Now, some 25 years later, after 9/11, Joel performed this particular song in front of the grieving crowds at the Concert for New York City. And somehow the tales of devastation played as uplifting, especially when evidence of the indefatigable spirit of the city's citizens shone through in the lyrics. And let's explore those lyrics. Now, Billy Joel tells a story of this particular track through the lens of an old-timer, an old geezer, I guess, like others, forced to hightail it out of town, headed to Florida. But he remembers that fateful day as the refrain makes clear. I've seen the lights go out on Broadway. The old man recounts the events with a mixture of nostalgia, wry humor, and some sorrow. And he makes sure to detail how the New Yorkers, even in the face of calamity, remain defiant and proud. And nearly driven from a celebratory farewell concert, they keep singing. They turned our power down and drove us underground, but we went right on with the show. He notes that the chaos wasn't all that unlike the norm in the city. We'd seen it all the time on 42nd Street. The burning of Harlem doesn't faze the denizens either, and a union strike ruins the chances of escape for many of the citizens. But at least the sports heroes get a pass. They sent a carrier out from Norfolk to pick the Yankees up for free. Now, in the final verse, Billy Joel's tone turns from sarcastic to elegiac, and the music softens to match the mood in this particular track. Very interesting. He still has a one-liner or two to spare as he notes how the mafia moved south of the border to continue their operations. But there's something quite moving about how he wraps it up, how Billy Joel wraps it up. The old geezer explains the importance of passing down the tale. Why? To tell the world about the way the lights went out and keep the memory alive. At the time of its release, the album Turnstiles was considered a bit of a flop, but I and many other Billy Joel fans now revere it as one of his finest albums. Not his finest, but certainly one of the top 5 albums Billy Joel created. And this one, we had the pleasure of him producing it as well. It certainly contains one of the strongest closing songs in Miami 2017, and it's a track that honors the charms and foibles of New York City by imagining it all being taken away. And if you've never heard this particular song, let alone the album, please stream it. I think you'll be surprised at what you find. I'm Michael Douglas. If you like what you see in this episode of Dr. Pundit, please don't hesitate to like and subscribe. And as the late great Barry White always used to say, let the music play. And I'll see you on the next episode.